in Nové Město. Terpstra fast off the line, as is Tauber. It's anyone's race right from the get-go. Risved's on the right-hand side, going well.
Yeah, and it's Risved's up that left side, looking really comfortable as well, rather than, as opposed to this good start, looking super good too.
7 podiums for Pauline Ferrand-Prévot here. Only one of them in the short track. You can see her. There she is, going for your shot now in the number 16 bike in the white jersey with the rainbow stripes of the UCI World Champion. Puck Peters is in front of her in the double denim of Alpecin de Koenig.
Yeah, and we saw Puck Peters just sitting there, riding smart at the moment, just floating just on the outside, staying out of trouble and close to the front. And I think we're going to see quite a lot of riders today just trying to keep as much energy as possible for these last 2 laps.
Keller, you got to go back to Palar and Salandora last season for her last win, the rider in front. Huge crash, Puck Peterson down at the front. Puck Peterson has crashed in Nové Město na Moravě.
And we just saw it was Pauline Ferrand-Prévot just moving up, and there was just a bit of an overlap of wheels.
Just watch the rider in blue. Painful looking crash for Puck Peterson. They're thrown onto the bike behind her.
But the one good thing for Puck Peters on this circuit at the moment, it goes at a kind of steady pace, and the pace builds during the race, gets faster, faster, faster. And at the moment, she should have time to rejoin, but the energy she's going to expand is going to be massive. Yeah, there she is in the background. Lucky it was on the grass, not on the tarmac. You know, so.
Adrenaline may be doing its job here for the time being. We'll need to see what that's taken, if anything, out of the Dutch woman. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot moves up into third wheel and sort of sits up and doesn't bother going too much further. There's Jolanda Neff now moving to the front, wheeling past.
And Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, previous world road race champion, let's not forget. And you're going to need a bit of that tactics today on this sort of circuit. Ideally, you sit there, like you say, third to fifth wheel, you never put your nose in the wind, and then right to that last lap.
But look at Keller here. Keller has launched an attack on that start-finish straight and has carried it through to the second straight. Looks over her shoulder now. Keller back at Tioki.
And Puck Peters are now sitting about 8th place, just on the outside, moving up. And it'd be interesting to see how much energy she had to expand to get back to the front.
Rebecca Henderson on the right-hand side of your screen, the number 14 as well, former Australian national champion, is in this front group as well. So big names all over the place as Puck Peterson is once again back on the back wheel of Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. Lyra Steger's in there as well on the Specialised.
Linda Indegand as well, had a cracking race in Brazil. She's just sitting there, great short track rider as well.
181 beats per minute for Mona Mitterwallner. She reckons she's at around about 70%. Had stomach issues and then caught salmonella at the Cape Epic at the start of the year, but... Risved's down then. Jenny Risved's off camera has gone down from the front of this race and looking to be in some difficulties. Meanwhile, at the front, Keller cracks on. Berta's with her now, so there has been a shake-up at the front. Let's see how this next... just finds a big route and huge crash, Ollie.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was just going to be a slide-off, but she hit that tree stump to the left and just flung over the bar straight out the front door.
The former Olympic champion, Jenny Risved's, is down here in Nové Město na Moravě. Meanwhile, back in the front, look who's back. Puck Peterson. In the blue of Alpecin de Koenig, having been down on the first lap, is now back at the front of the race, Ollie.
Unbelievable. Not just to get back to the front group, but to go straight through it, straight onto the front wheel. And I think everyone has seen that crash of Risved's, and that scared them. You know, it's like you don't want to drift too far back. And we were saying the pre-shot that the chance of crashes today was high because it's going to be such a bunch, and these big wide handlebars are so easy to get tied up with others.
How often do we say it in cross-country racing, the safest place to be is at the very front? There is Jenny Risved's, that arm and shoulder getting a bit of support from team staff and a medic.
Yeah, and we're going to see the pace starting to wind up now. I think we could see Keller going long. That's pretty bizarre, but this course doesn't have that kind of killer climb. It's more of a long drag.
Keller Fancy softening them up again with another attack.
Yeah, and as the riders come in, it's quite bunched up. They come into this jumps and it will put them into one line. So there's a bit of a kind of slick shot effect, and if they go too far back, then you've got to close it on the next drag. So where Keller is pushing on now, you see she's getting a couple of meters. If you look maybe the 10th wheel, that person has to close 10 meters to get back to the front. Someone like Neff is on the back foot now.
Massive day of cross-country racing. Look at the power from Alessandra Keller for Thomas Maxson.
And this has worked for Keller in the past to go long.
That really attacking style. Yeah. Look how hard they're having to work behind her. And it's Lyra Steger who's taking it up, you know.
And Peterson can't follow. She just drifted back, and then obviously she had to come back from a crash. So that effort would have taken a bit out of her for sure.
Lyra Steger, first we've seen her. There she is in the white jersey at the front of this. In front of her teammate, the overall points leader, Hayley Batten, Puck Peterson, and Chiara Tiocchi struggling to live with this pace. And you can see Steger looks round.
Can't follow as well. She's thrown ahead, asking for some help from a teammate Batten on Specialized.
And they're going to have to get a plan together very quickly here if they want to beat Alessandra Keller. Nobody looking like they want to take this attack on for Keller. And it is the overall points leader, Hayley Batten, on the #1 Specialized, who is going to try and track down Alessandra Keller. But she's going to have a job on her hands here, you know, as Keller over the start-finish line.
But all the others too scared to follow. If they follow now, they're going to expend a huge amount of energy. So they're all just looking at each other, and no one's going to commit. Big game of poker.
Look at Alessandra Keller dig deep here, going like the 1046 to Zurich. Powering her way out of the Vysočina arena, and they've got no answer for her at the minute. They're all looking round. It's currently Kohler now looking round for help. This is a deep, deep move on the last lap for Alessandra Keller, but it looks like no one has any answer for her. Drifts wide in that left-hander.
You saw her there just trying to free wheel recover. She's got this one big drag up to the top. But it's going to be a long, long effort, probably 20, 30 seconds that Keller's got to do before she can have another recovery. All over the bike, full pain face. We're going to see who's going to chase her down, who's got the legs. It's Batten that's going to launch first.
Batten launches in, blasts free of Kohler. There's Pauline Ferrand-Prévot blasting past her as well. Steger goes past her. Puck Peters is in contention as well. Have they got enough track left to catch Alessandra Keller?
This is going to be
Nové Město Namarave. Look at Hayley Batten, and Pauline Ferrand-Prévot is just riding the bike in front of her, and they're bringing Steger with them.
Yeah, and it's Puck Peters are just hanging there. She's lost 4 or 5 meters. She's out of this one now.
But Puck Peters is still on target for a front row gridding for tomorrow, despite that crash. But Keller, meanwhile, is about to turn left. Look at the effort it's taken out of her. Tries her best to tuck down behind the stem to get any kind of aerodynamic advantage. And it's Pauline Ferrand-Prévot who's in the second place now.
Yeah, she's just coming down. It's a long, long finish straight now. Oh, this is going to be close.
What a statement it would be. You saw the gear Pauline Ferrand-Prévot was pushing on her way up that start-finish ramp. Keller digs, Ferrand-Prévot digs. Who is going to come out on top? It's going to be Alessandra Keller. Alessandra Keller takes the win ahead of Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and Hayley Batten. What a short track race.
That was a good one. Keller going out with 2 laps to go.
The top 3 finishing on the same second. Then it was Steger. Puck Peters is on the front row for tomorrow in 5th place. Endergan, Lee. Look at the difference. Look at the difference in postures.
But Keller going out with the penultimate lap. Big attack on the climb. Everyone was too scared to follow. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot was leaving it to the last minute, but just left it just that bit too late.
Keller, pain etched all over her face. Alessandra Keller, great to see her back on the top step. Keller from Ferrand-Prévot, from Hayley Batten. Swiss flags flying high here in the Czech Republic.